I am living in Portland, Oregon, working as a graphic designer in what I thought was a solid 3-year relationship with Amber. She was creative, an adventurous photographer, and we had plans. Real plans. We talked about buying a house together, maybe getting engaged next year. Everything seemed perfect. Then Amber announced a 3-week trip to Europe with some college friends, and I supported her, but something felt off. She grew distant in the week before leaving. I had no idea that trip would expose everything, and I would have to make the hardest decision of my life. A decision that would shock her when she came home. Before I tell you what happened next, I need to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city in the comments. If you have ever felt that gut feeling that something was wrong in your relationship, hit that like button. And subscribe, because this story is about to show you why trusting your instincts might be the best decision you will ever make. Now let me take you back to when everything started falling apart. Amber and I met back in 2020 at an art gallery opening in downtown Portland. The chemistry was instant. We both loved art photography and design. I remember that first meeting clearly. She stood in front of an abstract painting debating its meaning with a friend. I jumped into the conversation, and we ended up talking for 3 hours straight. Our first date was hiking at Columbia River Gorge, having a picnic at Multnomah Falls. Falling in love with her felt natural, easy, like I did not have to force anything. 2 years later, we moved into an apartment together in the Pearl District. We had our routines. Sunday mornings meant I made pancakes while Amber brewed cold coffee. We took evening walks along the Willamette River. We shared dreams of buying a fixer-upper house in Selwood and turning it into a studio space. Amber talked about starting her own photography business. I was secretly saving for an engagement ring. Life felt like it was moving in the right direction. Then, one Friday evening in June, Amber came home practically buzzing with excitement. "Babe, I have incredible news," she said. Her college friends were planning 3 weeks backpacking through Europe. Paris, Barcelona, Rome, Athens, the whole trip. I was surprised but tried to be supportive. "That sounds amazing. You should totally go," I told her. But there was something in her voice that felt different. Something I could not quite place. She explained she would be traveling with 3 friends from her college photography program. When I asked about them, she was vague. "Just some people from my photography program," she said. A small red flag went up in my mind. Amber had never mentioned these people before in 3 years together. I pushed the thought away. I was probably just being paranoid. The 2 weeks before her departure were strange. Amber spent hours shopping and planning, but she talked to me less and less. When I asked for details about the trip, she got irritated. "Why do you need to know everything?" she snapped. Her phone was always face down when notifications came in. I felt as disconnecting, but I did not want to be that controlling boyfriend. I convinced myself she was just excited. It was fine. Everything was fine. The morning I drove Amber to PDX Airport, it was 5 in the morning. She seemed distant without her usual affection. She gave me a quick hug. "I will text you when I land," she said. I watched her walk through security, and I had this knot in my stomach. I could not explain. The first 2 days were fine. She texted regularly, sending photos of Paris. "Eiffel Tower is beautiful. Miss you." I felt relieved. Maybe I had been overthinking everything after all. But then, things shifted. Day 3, her texts became less frequent. "Super busy, we'll call later," she wrote. She never called. Day 4, I got one blurry photo of street food. Day 5, nothing at all. I sent her a message. "Hey, just checking in. Everything okay?" Hours passed before she replied. "Yeah, sorry. Phone died. Having blast." But something in her tone felt wrong. Distant. Cold. By the second week, the communication had deteriorated completely. We had scheduled video calls that she canceled last minute. Sorry, we are at a club. Service is bad here. Her texts became one-word responses. Yep, cool, busy. I tried to be understanding. Different time zones, maybe she was tired from traveling. I made excuses for her. Then I made the mistake of checking her Instagram, something I normally never did. She had posted a new photo from a beach in Barcelona. It was a group shot, Amber with 3 people. But I noticed immediately that only one was female. There were 2 men, and one of them was standing very close to Amber in the frame. His arm was around her waist. The caption read, "Living my best life, with the best people," with a sparkle emoji. The guy with his arm around her had commented "unforgettable" with a heart emoji. My stomach dropped. I told myself not to be that guy. Trust her. But my mind was racing. Who was he? Why had she not mentioned there were guys on this trip? I tried calling her, straight to voicemail. I texted, "Hey, saw your post. Looks fun. Who are your friends?" The message showed as read. No response for 12 hours. It was past midnight when my phone lit up with a message from Marcus, a friend I knew through mutual connections. "Hey man, I do not know if I should tell you this." His text began. My heart started pounding. "What is up?" I replied. He wrote, "My cousin lives in Barcelona. She saw Amber at a club last night. She was with some guy. They were really close. Like dancing, kissing kind of close. I told my cousin she must be mistaken, but she sent me a photo." Marcus forwarded the image. The lighting was dim, typical club atmosphere, but there was no mistaking it. Amber, dancing with the same guy from the Instagram post. His hands were on her hips. Her arms were around his neck. They were inches apart, clearly intimate. Not just friendly. Intimate. My hands started shaking. I read the message 5 times. I took a screenshot of the photo. A numb feeling spread through my chest. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were just dancing. People dance at clubs, right? But deep down I knew. I knew what I was looking at. I could not sleep that night. I lay there staring at the ceiling phone, resting on my chest, waiting for an explanation that never came. The next morning I called her. Voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I texted, "We need to talk. Call me when you can." Hours dragged by. Nothing. I texted again. "Amber, I am serious. Call me." The message showed as read. Still no response. I could not focus on work. I could not focus on anything. I took the day off and paced around our apartment. Everything reminded me of her. Her coffee mug on the counter, photos of us on the wall, her pillow on the bed, the smell of her perfume still lingering on the couch. I felt like an idiot for being so trusting. Finally, at 4 in the afternoon, Portland time, 1 in the morning, Barcelona time, she called. Her voice was slightly slurred. "Hey babe, sorry been so crazy here." I could hear background noise. Music, laughter, male voices. "Where are you?" I asked. "At a bar with friends." "Why?" she said, immediately defensive. "Can you go somewhere quiet? I need to talk to you." She sighed, annoyed. "Ugh. Okay, hold on." There were muffled sounds, then it got quieter. "Who are these people you are traveling with?" I asked. "I told you friends from school," she replied. "You never mentioned any guys," I said. She got irritated. "I did not know I had to give you a full roster. What is your problem?" I took a breath. "Someone saw you at a club. With a guy. They said you two looked together." Silence on the other end. Then her voice came back, ice cold. "So, you are having people spy on me now?" "What?" "No," I said. "A friend's cousin happened to be there and recognized you." "This is ridiculous," she snapped. "I am on a trip with friends. You need to stop being so insecure." She was turning it around on me. Gaslighting, You are ruining my vacation with your jealousy. I cannot believe you do not trust me. Maybe I need some space to think about us. My heart sank. Space. What does that mean? I asked. It means I do not know. Maybe we have been too serious. Too fast, she said. Are you breaking up with me? I asked, my voice hollow. No. I just need freedom right now. Cannot we just be relaxed about this? Relaxed, Amber. We live together, I said. We have been talking about getting engaged. That is exactly what I mean. Too much pressure, she replied dismissively. Why cannot we just see how things go? No labels, no expectations. I could not believe what I was hearing. You want to turn our 3-year relationship into a situationship. Do not say it like that, she protested. I just want to enjoy my life. Be young. Have experiences. What kind of experiences, Amber? I asked, anger building in my chest. Oh my God. You are so paranoid, she said. I heard a male voice in the background calling her name. Look, I have to go. We will talk when I get back. No, I said firmly. We are talking now. My voice was steady despite the rage coursing through me. Did you cheat on me? There was a long pause. That is not fair. You cannot. Just, she started. Yes or no, I interrupted. Did you cheat on me? It is complicated, she finally said. Those 2 words hit me like a physical punch. What does that mean? I demanded. It means I cannot have this conversation when you are being like this, she said. I will be home in 10 days. We will talk then. The line went dead. She had hung up. I sat in silence, phone still in my hand. It is complicated. That meant yes. If the answer was no, she would have said no immediately. The feeling of betrayal washed over me in waves. Everything had been a lie. The morning pancakes, the shared dreams, the plans for our future. All of it. She had been cheating. Probably the entire trip. Maybe even before she left. Is that why she had been so distant? Who was this person? This was not the Amber I knew. Or maybe this was exactly who Amber was, and I had never really seen it. I sat alone in our apartment that night. Her things were everywhere. Her plants that I had been watering. Her mail stacked on the counter. Her laundry still in the hamper. She would be home in 10 more days. 10 days of living in this limbo surrounded by her belongings, waiting for her to come back and probably try to manipulate me some more. No, that was not happening. She said it was complicated. Fine. Time to make it very uncomplicated. That night, something shifted inside me. The confusion and hurt crystallized into cold, clear determination. She had chosen her freedom. She could have it. But not with me sitting at home like an idiot waiting for her to decide whether I was worth her time. I picked up my phone and sent one final text. You are right. It was complicated. Not anymore. I did not explain further. Then I blocked her number. Blocked her on every social media platform. No more communication until she got home and saw what I had done. I had 10 days to execute my plan. I grabbed a notebook and started making a list of everything that needed to happen. First, I needed to document everything in the apartment that belonged to her. I walked through each room taking photos for my records. I was not being vindictive. I was being thorough. Day 1, I started with the bedroom. I began carefully folding every piece of her clothing, not throwing things around or destroying anything. That was not who I was. Her dresses, jeans, sweaters, all went into boxes. I labeled each one clearly. Amber clothes, Amber shoes. Her jewelry box packed safely with bubble wrap. All her makeup and skincare products from the bathroom. Each item brought back a different memory. The blue dress from our anniversary dinner. The hiking boots she wore on our first date. I packed them anyway. Day 2, I moved to her personal items. her photography equipment. She had taken her main camera to Europe, but her backup camera lenses and tripod all went into boxes. Books from her side of the bookshelf. Her notebooks full of sketches, personal documents, everything that was exclusively hers. Day 3 was harder. The shared items, kitchen things she had bought, decorations she had chosen for the living room, the chair she found at an estate sale that she loved. If there was any doubt about who owned what, it went in her pile. I was being fair, but I was being firm. On day 4, I handled the apartment logistics. The lease was in both our names and expired in 2 months. I called the landlord. "I need to discuss the lease situation," I said. I explained the breakup, keeping it brief and professional. The landlord was sympathetic. "I can take her off the lease if she agrees," he offered. "She will agree," I said with certainty. I could afford the rent alone. It would be tight, but manageable. Day 5. I rented a storage unit nearby. Climate-controlled, secure. I spent hours moving all her boxes there. I had the facility make 2 keys. One for me to give her, one for the management office. I took photos of everything stored and emailed myself a detailed inventory list. I was covering all my bases. She would not be able to accuse me of keeping or damaging her belongings. The physical work was exhausting, but it was mentally necessary. Each box I packed was closure. I was removing her presence piece by piece. The apartment looked emptier with each passing day, but it also felt lighter. This was what she wanted. Freedom. Now she was going to have all of it. By day 8, all her things were gone. The apartment only contained my belongings now. It looked sparse, but it felt like mine. No more her coffee mug on the counter. No more her throw pillows on the couch. No more her photos on the refrigerator. Just clean, open space. I could not change the lock since she was technically still on the lease, but I installed a security chain on the door. I also changed the building entry code with the building manager's permission, given the circumstances. On day 9, I prepared the final details. I put the storage unit key in an envelope along with the address and unit number. I printed out the complete inventory list. I had already called her mother to arrange mail forwarding to her parents' address. That had been an awkward conversation. "I am so sorry, Fabian," her mom had said. "I do not know what has gotten into her." That hurt almost as much as everything else. Even her own family could not defend her choices. Day 10 arrived. Her flight was scheduled to land at 3 in the afternoon. I took the day off work. I sat in the apartment, calm and ready. The anger had burned out. All that remained was resolution. At 4:30, the doorbell rang. I opened the door, but kept the chain on. Amber stood there, suitcase beside her, looking confused. "Fabian, why is the chain on? Let me in." "No," I said simply. What do you mean, no?" "Open the door," she demanded. "Your things are at storage now on MLK Boulevard, Unit 247. Here is the key and address." I slid the envelope under the chain. She picked it up, her face changing from confusion to shock. "What is this? What did you do? You cannot just kick me out," she shouted. "This is my home too. You wanted a situationship," I said calmly. "Situationships do not live together. I never said I wanted to break up," she protested. "You said it is complicated when I asked if you cheated," I replied. "So, I made it uncomplicated." "We need to talk about this," she insisted. "We really do not," I said. "Everything you own is safe in storage. The inventory list is in the envelope. The lease has been modified. You are no longer financially responsible." Tears started forming in her eyes. "Fabian, please. I made a mistake." Can we just... No, I cut her off. You made your choice in Barcelona. I am making mine now. I hope you enjoyed your freedom. Now you have all of it. I closed the door and locked it. I heard her crying on the other side. I sat down on my couch. I did not open that door again. The first night alone was the hardest. Amber eventually left. I heard her footsteps fade away after about 30 minutes of her standing outside. The apartment was completely silent. No sound of her breathing in bed next to me. No early alarm going off. Just quiet. I ordered a pizza, ate half of it, and could not finish the rest. I turned on the television without really watching anything. At 8 in the evening, I went to bed. The first week was full of muscle memory moments. I would reach for my phone to text her something funny, then remember I could not do that anymore. I would make coffee, and almost pour 2 cups out of habit. Friday night came around, which used to be our date night. I stayed home, instead feeling strange about the empty space. Friends started texting. Heard what happened. You okay? Yeah, I would reply. I will be. The grief was not just about losing Amber. It was about losing the future we had planned. The house we would never buy together. The life we would never build. One morning at 3, I woke up crying into my pillow. I let it out, then got up, washed my face, and went back to bed. Tomorrow would be better. It had to be. By the second week, I shifted my focus. I threw myself into work, volunteering for extra projects. I redesigned the company website. I needed the distraction. My boss noticed. You are doing great work lately, he said. Work became my therapy. Marcus invited me to pick up basketball games with some guys. I had not played in years. Amber had not liked me wasting weekends on sports, she had said. As I played, I realized how much I had given up to accommodate her. Basketball felt good. Being around other guys, laughing, trash-talking. I was remembering who I was before her. I started building new routines. Sunday mornings, I stopped making pancakes. Instead, I joined a running group along the waterfront. I met new people there. Everyone had their own story. A woman named Diana shared that she had gone through a similar breakup last year. Best thing that ever happened to me, she said. I was skeptical, but I listened. Slowly, I started making the apartment truly mine. I bought new furniture that I actually liked. I put up posters of bands I loved that Amber had always hated. I rearranged everything. The space was becoming home again. My space. My rules. My peace. 1 month after everything happened, I found myself looking back at the relationship with clearer eyes. How many red flags had I ignored? Her need to control my free time. The way she dismissed my feelings. How she made me feel guilty for having normal boundaries. It was not all bad, I told Marcus over beers one night. But it was not all good either. I just could not see it when I was in it. The strangest thing was feeling grateful. What if I had proposed to her? What if we had bought that house? What if she had done this after we were married? She actually did me a favor. Barcelona revealed what probably would have come out eventually, just later when the stakes were higher. I was proudest of how I handled everything. I did not beg. I did not accept her excuses. I did not let her manipulate me into taking her back, and she tried. She sent emails from a new account. Texts from a different number. She even showed up at my workplace once. I stayed strong every time. No is a complete sentence. I learned that lesson well. 6 months later, my life looked completely different. I got a promotion at work. I had better friends now, people who genuinely cared about me. Most importantly, I had a better relationship with myself. I started casually dating again, but I was not rushing into anything. I was learning what I really wanted and what I would never accept again. The wisdom I gained was simple but powerful. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. It is complicated means they are not choosing you, and you deserve someone who is absolutely sure about you. No amount of shared history obligates you to accept disrespect. Walking away is not giving up. It is self-preservation. The right person will never make you question your worth. Sometimes the best thing someone can do for you is leave, because it makes room for something better, or someone better, or even just peace. And peace, that is severely underrated. Standing in my apartment now, my space, on my terms, living my life with no drama, no games, no complications. Just me. And honestly, that is enough. For now, that is more than enough. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever ignored red flags in a relationship because you wanted to believe everything was fine? Have you ever had to walk away from someone you loved because they did not respect you? Drop your answers in the comments. I read every single one. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel, because I share real stories about real life, and your support means everything. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who is struggling with whether to stay or go. Sometimes we all need a reminder that choosing ourselves is not selfish. It is necessary. Thank you for listening to my story. And for to you. Loses, end of life. End of life. Sometimes we all need a reminder that choosing ourselves. I hope it helped you in some way. Stay strong. Trust your gut. And never settle for being someone's maybe. You deserve to be someone's absolute yes. Take care of yourself out there.